followed by Didier Deschamps as usual. Languages available today, in case you don't remember: Arabic, English, Francais, and Espanol. Please, as always, turn off your hotspot to make sure we have a proper interpretation. Photographers, we already discussed before, you can stay in the room, but please, after 5 minutes, stop shooting. I think protocol is completed. Please do not forget to tell the language you will ask the question, your name and organization, and stick to one question to make sure your colleagues can get a question as well. So we'll start now with the questions. Yes. Thank you.
Bonjour Hugo, Jérémy Talbot.
Good morning, Jérémy Talbot from AFP. Many of your teammates are sick. How are they? And is it tough to live with that sword of Damocles hanging over you just before the biggest match in your career? I haven't got any more news since last night because everyone was still in their rooms this morning when I got up for my breakfast, so I haven't seen anyone this morning. So I'm sure you'll get more information by our next training session. So on the virus, you're never really prepared for that type of thing. But we're trying to get ready for this match as well as we can. These are things for which we weren't necessarily prepared, but we remain focused. And of course, we're very excited about playing in a World Cup final. Over here, Jean-François Perret, Europe 1, to your left. Of course, this is a wonderful opportunity to play, and there's a long history of matches between France and Argentina. Wonderful matches have taken place. How do you define the style of play of this Argentinian team? And you've known them for some time now. Well, I can say what I've seen of them during this World Cup. They're a very well-organized side, very strong defensively, and very aggressive press on whoever has the ball. And they're very good on the break by taking advantage of their opponent's mistakes. And over the years, Argentina has always produced some world-class players. Maradona, of course, was a perfect example of that. And now we have Lionel Messi, who are legends of football. So everyone will be really looking forward to the final in the Argentina camp. But for France, whoever you play in the World Cup final, it's going to be a tremendous occasion. And facing Argentina maybe makes that even more of an attractive proposition. In any case, I sincerely hope that this match will go down in history, French history in particular. L'équipe, we know the very calm HUGO LLORIS that we tend to see in press conferences, but we also see that HUGO LLORIS can raise his voice in the changing room before a match. Which is the real HUGO LLORIS? I think I do tend to be someone who remains calm in general, but like anybody, emotions can take over, and I do talk a lot in the changing room sometimes, and that's part of being a footballer, and these are things you can't necessarily control. I do remain calm mostly, so that's pretty much all I can say. Good morning, Xavier, Radio France, to your left. We talk a lot about Messi, and everyone's talking about Messi. Do you get the feeling that you're playing against the rest of the world, who is really looking forward to Lionel Messi winning this World Cup? And apart from the French, not many people are supporting you. Well, so long as we have the support of our fans, and we know that the French people are behind us, then nothing else really matters. We started this World Cup with an objective to go as far as possible in the tournament. Very few believed in us at the outset, at the beginning of this adventure, but we're now in the final, 4 years after our last final, and we're going to pull out all the stops to try and win this game. Of course, we know what Lionel Messi means in the history of football. But this is a match between France and Argentina at the end of the day. And there are some very good players in the two squads. Of course, Argentina are great competitors, and we're looking forward to a great match. Over here, what will you say to your teammates in your team talk before the match? And is there a difference between those who've already played in a World Cup final last time and those who haven't? Well, what happens in the changing rooms before a match isn't always planned. It's spontaneous. And it depends what I feel like saying at the time. And as for the final 4 years ago, the context was very different. The opponent was very different. And it was a different tournament. We played different matches. You have to live in the moment. And of course, our experience 4 years ago can help for those of us who played in that match. But I think tomorrow's game is something totally different. We are looking forward to marking the history books in our own way, our players, our staff. We've already achieved a great deal in this tournament, but we're looking forward to going further. Of course, the last match is the most difficult one, and you have to be ready in all respects. Good morning, Hugo and Marcelo Correge, here from TV Globo, Brazil, over here. No captain in the history of the World Cup has lifted the World Cup trophy twice. Of course, you'll have to win the final to do that. But I think it's an enormous responsibility on your shoulders. What do you feel about having that opportunity? Well, look, I was privileged enough to win the trophy with my teammates in 2018, and I'm very proud about that. But to be honest with you, I'm focusing on the present now. What happened in the past belongs to the past. And as I said earlier, we're looking forward to writing our own history and creating our own story. And we'd like to finish this tournament as well as we possibly can. Of course, it is going to be the toughest match of the tournament. It's the final. That goes without saying. And we're going to have to be ready for any scenario. We're going to have to be ready to show great solidarity, graft, and in spite of all of the games that we've been playing, maybe the tiredness and the circumstances with this virus as well that's been going through the camp, we're going to have to finish the job as well as we can. Good morning, Xavier Giraudon, Info Sport Plus Canal. You started the tournament with a few players missing, injured, and now you have people sick. A lot of journalists around the world are amazed by your resilience and the fact that you're still grafting on in this tournament. And has that helped you in terms of creating a good team spirit before this great match? I think in the past we've already proved that French teams who have been successful have always based that success on a strong team spirit. And so we try to draw from that. There's a very good feeling in the camp since the beginning of the tournament, and there's no reason why that shouldn't be seen again tomorrow, even though anything's possible. In a match, there is always a little bit of uncertainty about the outcome, of course, and we're going to try and do our best in spite of the circumstances. I think thanks to the adrenaline and the excitement that we will feel, we'll all be fit enough and ready to do everything we can to win this last battle.
HUGO Sports.
Pablo Fernandez, Tivo Sports. Hugo, we have seen France playing in two different styles. When the game is very evened out or the opponent is leading the score, France is very lethal and you go into the attack, even desperately, to put it like that. But then when you're leading the match, you give out the ball to the opponent. By doing this, you struggled against Morocco or even against England. They equalized and they could even have taken the lead. Do you have the same plan ahead of the final, or is it too dangerous to give the ball to Argentina? And last question, how do you feel about the possibility of being World Cup winner twice?
I think in a World Cup, you need to be ready to play defensively as well at times and manage to get through those tough challenges in a match. You have to adapt. We're facing world-class teams, and that was true against Morocco and against England. And I thought in the second half we dropped back too much, personally. But that was also due to a good performance by the Moroccans. And in the match tomorrow, of course, we're going to be trying to respect our game plan. We're still looking at the team formation and how to prepare for tomorrow's game. Of course, things always happen in a match for which you're not necessarily prepared. And that's where you need to show a good team spirit. And you also need to have that feeling of pulling out all of the stops and digging deep at those tough moments in a match. And yes, it's true that we're good on the break, on the counter-attack, because we have some very quick players in attack. But really, it depends on the game. And we are very good as a team because we know how to adapt to different scenarios.
Hi, Hugo, in the back here, on to your right. Hello. Isaac Fannin, BBC in English. Obviously, before the game, the storyline is going to be about Lionel Messi, with it being his final match in international football. How do you, as a leader, we've seen France using their experience perhaps to kind of get to this final. How do you, as a leader in the squad, prepare the team to maybe not look into the storyline of Messi's final match, and if he wins this, he goes out as a legend? How do you prepare the team and the younger players ahead of this game?
I believe it's the event is too massive. Just being focused on one player. It's a final between two big nations of football, between Argentina and France. Obviously, when you face that type of player, you need a special focus on him, but it's not only about him, you know. It's a strong team with a lot of talented players, with a young generation of players, and you can feel that they are all dedicated to Leo Messi. But again, we will try to find the key to get the success on this game.
Thank you very much, Hugo. Good luck for tomorrow.